another way to solve an Egyptian fraction. Only this time, we find the largest unit fraction that we can subtract from the fraction and then subtract in repeated times until all fractions are unit fractions. 9 over 11. Well, 9 over 11 is not a unit fraction yet. So we have to subtract 9 over 11 with the largest unit fraction, which happens to be 1 over 2, or half. Then we have to find the common denominator. Common denominator is the number below the line, while numerator is the number on top of the line. So these are the denominators. So the common denominator between these two fractions is 22. Moving forward, 22 divided by 11 is going to be 2. And 9 will be multiplied by 2, which is 18. For here, 22 divided by 2 is going to be 11. Now we can subtract these fractions, and it equals to 7 over 22. Well, 7 over 22 has to be subtracted by another unit fraction, which happens to be 1 over 4. Doing the same thing like last time, we have to find the common denominator between these two fractions. And the common denominator, you guys should know this by now, is 44. Well, why? Because 22 multiplied by 2 is 44, and 4 multiplied by 11 is 44. So 44 divided by 2 is 2. So the numerator has to be times by 2, which equals to 14. For this fraction, 44 divided by 4 is 11. And this numerator has to be multiplied with 11. And 11 times 1 is 11. This equals to 3 over 44. So now I'm going to show you guys how I solve this question. There you go again, making me love you. Yeah, I stopped using my head, let it all go. So this is another question for you. So basically we're going to find the k is, and we're gonna use the same method that we used last time, which is the selfish method. So 9 over 12 will be subtracted by the largest unit fraction, and the largest unit fraction is already told here. So we're going to use 1 over 2, and we're going to find the common denominator. So 22, because 11 multiplied by 2 is 22, and 22 divided by 11 is 2, so we're going to times 9 with 2, which is 18. And we're going to do the same here. So 22 divided by 2 is 11, so we're going to multiply 1 by 11, which is still 11. And it equals to 7 over 22. Now, 7 over 22 will be subtracted by this fraction. So we're going to find the common denominator again.
So I erased some parts, but we got 3 over 44. Now, we need to subtract 3 over 44 with 1 over 20. So I'm going to subtract this with 1 over 20. And we're going to find the common denominator, as we know. Which is 220. And 15. And it's 11. Now, we're going to subtract this. So it's 4 over 220. Basically, 1 over k is this, and this is the answer. But we're not finished yet because this fraction can be simplified. So I'm going to erase this. 4 over 220 can be simplified to 55 and 1. So 1 over k is 4 over 220, which has been simplified to 1 over 55. So 1k is 1 over 55. Now we're going to work on this question. This question seems more complicated because we need to find 1 over a and 1 over b. So we're going to work on this question by using the salvage method. So I'm going to subtract 9 over 11 by 1 over 2 and find the common denominator, and it's going to be 18, 11, and it's going to be 7 over 22. 7 over 22 is going to be subtracted by 1 over 5. And the common denominator is going to be 110. And it's 35. And it's going to be 22. Which is going to be 13 over 110. I'm going to erase this part first. So far we've finished this part, but we need to find this part. So to find 1a, I'm going to write this here. We're going to need the last fraction, which is 13 over 110, and subtract it with 1 over 10. Well, we can use we could probably try with this, so you guys will understand why I won't use 1 over 2, which is because it's going to be 13 and 55, which we don't want to have minus as the result, so this numerator has to be bigger than this numerator. So let's stick with 1 over 10 and see what happens. So it's going to be 110 as for the common denominator. So 13, and it's going to be 11. So I'm going to subtract this fraction, which is going to be 2 over 110. Well, this is 1 over b. 1 over a is this fraction because we subtract 13 over 110 with 1 over 10. Then 1 over b will be the result, which is this. But it's not the result yet because we haven't simplified this fraction. So the result is going to be 1 over 55. So I'm going to erase this really fast. Sorry. So 1 over a is 110. 1 over b is 1 over 55. Well, that's